What's up, CFO gang? It's your boy J Tuck. Real Cowboys fans, stand up. And yo, you are now tuned to CFO Sports. So if you are new, do us a huge favor. Comment, like, subscribe somewhere down there. And be sure to turn that notification bell to stay updated with all Dallas Cowboys news and content. Well, yo, I don't know about some of y'all. I don't know about some of y'all young bucks out there who watch this channel. But for me personally, I can only speak for me. I'm only one man. It's rivalry week, y'all. It's rivalry week. I know we hear some birds chirping that they are rivals, you know what I'm saying? And we hear these other teams talking about they're rivals. But for me, it is this team in Washington that is our rivals, right? And, you know, I'm going to say like this. They switched their team name. They got some new jackets and everything going on. And if you look at their jackets and their uniforms, it is exactly like J Tuck's high school uniforms and Letterman's jackets. So I can't even wear my Letterman's jackets out in public anymore without people thinking I'm a Washington fan. So this week, it's personal for me, man. But I had to bring on a guest. This guy is killing it. He knows his stuff when it comes to the Washington Commanders. One of my favorite people to watch when I try to get some insight, some intel. So CFO fam, let's welcome to the channel my guy, Rio. What's going on, bro?
What's going on, big dog? Thank you for having me on the channel. It's Dallas week, man. I know for a lot of our fan base, the rivalry has kind of lost its luster,
Right.
But it's Washington, Dallas, no matter how you put it. I don't care who's quarterback. I don't care who's out there. I get up for it, and this is a must-win for us. I got my black on because, you know, we brought the all blacks out because we're in panic mode 3-4 weeks into the season. I'm ready to do it, man. Thanks for having me on the show.
Yeah, man. Like, I see y'all wearing y'all blacks, man. So for some reason, Cowboys Nation, whenever someone plays us, it's fashion week, man. It's fashion week. So we had the Giants come out. The Giants came out and they're all white joints. Y'all wearing all black. I think Philly's wearing their all black. And we ain't gonna bring out our new uniforms until the last game of the season. I don't know why. So, you know, I don't know. But it's fashion week here in Dallas, man. But yo, Rio, before we get started and we roll up our sleeves and dive into the nitty-gritty, man, let everybody know where they can find you.
Hey man, Rio Robinson on YouTube. My show is called Rambling with Rio, where I do a lot of rambling from a raw, unfiltered perspective about the Washington Commanders, boots on the ground. I do vlogs from all the events, games, practices, all that good stuff. I'm an ambassador for the team, and Rio_Robinson91, as you can see, as my Twitter and Instagram handle. They said we're wearing black for our own funeral. I hope that's not the case. You know, the funny thing is with alternates, you're only allowed to wear them twice a year. We already put out our jersey schedule. Our 2 games are supposed to be blackout week when Kirk comes to town and the Vikings, and our second game was versus the Falcons. But I guess they was like, the fans hate us right now, bro. We gotta pull them out versus Dallas.
We gotta give them something, man. We gotta give them something to be excited about, man. So let's go ahead and make it, you know, Dallas week, man. Pull out this all black. Now I will say this: I like the all black joints, man. I like them all black joints. You know, I ain't gonna lie to you, man. I'm keeping a buck. It's like I said, I had those same uniforms. I have to send you a picture, man, in high school. And when it was one of those games, homecoming games or rivalry week, we pulled out them all black joints, man. So
too bad fans can't get them yet, though. Those joints ain't no type of available.
Yeah.
The only joints you see at the stadium are the Wish.com DHH.
Right. So what it meant, yeah. Like that look right, man. We missing an E or something there. Yeah, the Cowboys just came out with some black uniforms last week, man. I saw a few fans wearing them.
I seen them. Jones was kind of dirt. I seen them.
Yeah, you know, it is what it's been. But salute to everyone in the chat, man. I got my guy Bumpy Bars, man, in the building. Definitely give him a follow, man. If you love battle rap, he's killing it in the battle rap scene. Got Thomas in the building. My guy BJ Nix is in the building. King Ken in the building. Skeptical fan. Everybody's in the building, man. So we're gonna have some fun. So Rio, I'm gonna start with you. You know, last year the Commanders, you know, they kind of had an up and down season. You guys did add Carson Wentz as your quarterback this offseason. So what was kind of your expectations coming from last season? Throughout the draft, you added Jahan Dotson, who was one of my favorite prospects. I'm not even gonna lie, I did a video on him during the draft process. But what was kind of your expectations coming into this season?
My expectations was Ron has been telling us 3 to 5 years to build a culture. They got a quarterback that's a significant upgrade from what we had before who his predecessor was, Taylor Heineke. Don't tell a lot of our fans that because they still think that Taylor Heineke is the second coming of Romo or Kurt Warner. They're delusional, but I was expecting more consistency from the quarterback position. Man, we're only 3 weeks into the season. He lit it up week 1. He had a good second half week 2, but we've been held scoreless for 2 first halves in a row, and the guy's been sacked 15 times. You guys lead the league in sacks right now. He's been sacked more than you guys have team sacks right now. So that is an issue, but until otherwise, I have to stand with it. They have to make the playoffs this year. They have to make the postseason, and it starts with you cannot lose 3 conference games and 2 division games back to back the first month of the season. I know it's a long season now that there's 17 games, but I just don't see the recipe for a playoff team if you lose back-to-back games to the Lions, Eagles, and Cowboys without Dakota Prescott. So
Cooper Rush.
I'm sorry.
Your fan base was talking about Tyler Heineke. Right now, my fan base is talking about Cooper Rush, man. So, it just must be something in the water where fans is always kind of like that other quarterback from some weird reason. But
a fan's favorite player is the backup quarterback, I tell you.
Because ain't no expectations. You know what I'm saying? Like, you can come out there and throw 4 interceptions. You can throw 4 touchdowns. Who's going to care? Cooper Rush, he was just on the practice squad 2 weeks ago, but now everybody loves him, man.
Yeah, it's the backup quarterback is the cool aunt or the cool uncle. Yeah. You know what I'm saying? You can get the kids for a week, a couple days, a weekend, take them to go have fun with them. Then you got to bring them back to the family. You don't got to take care of, you don't have to put out a large body of work or consistency, but the kids are going to love you and think you're the fun one because they ain't got to do the dirty work.
Right. That's why I said the substitute teacher, man. All you got to do is come out, watch a movie for a little bit, get some snacks at recess, and everybody's going to love you, man. So you mentioned playoffs. That's kind of the expectation coming into the season. Is that the expectations for Ron Rivera? So could there be a possibility if the Commanders do not make the playoffs, do y'all see that y'all going to move on for Riverboat Ron, or is he kind of your guy?
See, the fan perspective differs from what reality is. I think amongst the fan base it's like he needs to make the playoffs or he has to go. But amongst what reality is like, you know what I'm saying? Amongst like reality is he's Ron's like, he's Dan Snyder's fall on the sword guy. He's the good face, the change of culture that we need here. And that is why I think he still gets his 5 years that he was promised when he signed a contract that we never saw the details of, because he's kind of the head of football operations. He runs all of the football side of things here. But as fans, it's easy to get tired and sick of what we've seen here because it doesn't really feel like we've progressed too much over his 3 years, and there's been a lot of misses, and we're not aggressive. We're always trying to make projects out of players instead of going after established guys. And the fan base is getting fed up, and I'd be remiss to not say that I'm also getting fed up of it too. So I need to see something immediately. And shout out to the Reaper in the chat. I didn't realize that I was using my laptop mic and not my mic that I had set up here. My audio was probably sounding crazy. I'm good now.
Yeah, you good, man. You good, man. They say you sound like a robot, man. Rio the robot. So you said that, the Commanders really haven't lived up to the expectations. Now, 2020, y'all won the division, right? Because I remember that was the whole folks.
By default.
By default. You know what I'm saying? Kind of fault. It was a bad season, NFL, NFC leagues across the board, right? But you could lean on that young pass rush when you had Chase Young. You still had Payne, and you had, that front.
Allen and Sweat.
Allen and Sweat, yeah. So that was what you really could kind of lean on. So what is it that you really think that's holding the Commanders back from really being in contention to where you think they need to be?
I wish it was just one thing, but one, coaching and schematically, it seems like if what our original plan doesn't work, we don't have anything to fall back on. Like, I feel like every team in the league has something that catches another team off guard. We don't ever catch anybody off guard. They know exactly what we're doing. We're coming out. We have no run game established through the first 3 weeks. We're going to come out trying to run play action like y'all need to respect the run.
Right.
When Antonio Gibson's done nothing through 3 weeks. He's done nothing on the ground. And defensively, don't get me started on Jack Del Rio's scheme. I call it the Swiss cheese defense because there's just holes all over the zone every week. We don't have a cornerback worth a damn on the. Well, St. Jude's had a good game versus the Eagles, but as bad as the defense sounded, I mean, as bad as defense were the first 2 weeks of the season, they actually gave us a chance versus the Eagles, but the offense didn't because either because of the line or because of Carson Wentz. We did nothing offensively, bro. We only scored a safety and a garbage time touchdown at the end of that game. But it just seems like we can't adjust on the fly to what teams are doing. We have no pass rush, we have no pass protection, and we run loose zones that leave wide open gaps every week, and we get gashed on big plays. So it is a multitude of things, and I need to see Jack Del Rio show me something, or he can get the hell out of here immediately.
Yeah, man. So it sounds like, and my guy King Kansas said this, that boy sounds like Kellen Moore at the end of last year. Just cannot make adjustments offensively on the fly because historically, when you always looked at Washington, we always thought the run game, stop the run game. But when I kind of went back the past 3 games, kind of watched film, like your offense is very pass heavy. I think y'all are passing the ball almost 67% of the time. So 100%. Is that by design because you feel like you can lean more on Carson, or is it just the philosophy with the offensive coordinator right now is off scene?
It's because our rookie running back that we drafted in the first round, Brian Robinson, who got shot a couple times right the day before he was named the starting running back, because he beat Gibson out for the starting running back job. For anybody in Cowboys Nation that didn't know, he's going to be the bell cow guy here, and we were going to use Gibson as pretty much the souped up J.D. McKissick, use out in space RB2 Thunder Lightning type combo. We're not able to feed Gibson, so we're airing the ball out because these 3 receivers we have are ballers. Jahan Dotson, Curtis Samuel, Terry McLaurin. We're airing it out, but we're starting the game trying to sell run that doesn't exist. And we got Carson doing 5 to 7 step drops and long developing passing route concepts that are getting him set. He's either under duress immediately or he's walking into pressure and his pocket pressure hasn't been there. And Carson has this thing where his talent, his arm talent and his game represents that of a gunslinger, but his mental and his psyche, it's not a gunslinger. A gunslinger, your boy Romo, Manning, Brett Favre, they will throw 5 picks, shake it off, and go win the game because that's what baller gunslingers do. Carson, he makes a couple mistakes and he tries not to make another mistake, and he lives in his head and he gets gun shy. You cannot be a gun shy gunslinger because they are the antithesis of a player character. It doesn't make sense. So I need Carson to get loose again and go out like he did week 1 versus what looks like now to be a good Jacksonville team. He threw 2 back-to-back interceptions, came back, finished the fourth quarter with 120 yards and 2 touchdowns, including a game winner. I need him to get out of his head, and I need him to let the ball fly because scared money don't make no money, and I don't want to see Taylor Heinicke ever start a game for me again, but the dude at least plays with cojones. He plays with balls, and he plays with moxie. He just don't got the arm or the processing skills to be a starting quarterback in this league.
And what's funny about this, Rio, he used to try to tell Philly fans the same exact thing, but they wasn't listening. So when it comes to Carson Wentz, you hit it right on the head, bro. He has all the arm strength. He has the talent. It's there. Like, he looks like an NFL quarterback. But up here, he gets rattled so quickly. You saw what happened in Philly, right? As soon as he kind of had Jalen Hurts kind of breathing down his neck, he folded. So he just doesn't deal with adversity. And that's why I feel like from the Cowboys standpoint, get pressure on him, get to Carson Wentz early and get him rattled, and then he'll probably fold. He just doesn't have that thing, like you said, where it's like, hey, I'm getting off to a slow start, but I'm getting on to the next play. He just doesn't have that as of yet. You haven't seen that with Carson Wentz. It's going to be interesting to see what happens on Sunday. But you did mention the wide receiver core, Terry McLaurin, Curtis Samuel, and Jahan Dotson. So when it comes to your wide receiver core, like, what is the most optimal situation? Are you wanting to see more quick throws, or do you want to see Carson kind of get them out in space and let them be more creative when it comes to the offensive scheme?
So that's the thing. We want to get him out in space and we want to stretch the field vertically, but we can't if teams are just sending everybody at us because they know we can't protect Carson, and we know Carson is shaky in the pocket because the line ain't doing their job. Both of our tackles are getting their ass whooped. Our center's out for the season. Trey Turner sucks at right guard. We need to put Tyler Smith's running mate out in Tulsa. Chris Paul, we drafted him in the 7th round. He needs to be the right guard at some point because Trey Turner not blocking me at this point. But the plan should be get the quick game going. Slants, mesh concept, crossing routes, screens passes. Get these guys going and establish some type of run game so that y'all have to come back a little bit because we want Carson to air it out. Week 1, we was airing it out all over the field. That's what we want to do. But you can't. We've had 2 of the most abysmal first halves I've seen in my entirety of a fan here these last 2 weeks. And if we get off to another start like that, it's going to be curtains early because y'all boys can run the football and clock control, and y'all aren't making Cooper Rush do anything more than he needs to do. All he needs to do is manage the ship and make a throw here and there and just feed these running backs who are going crazy right now.
Yeah, and I think that's where a lot of people are sleeping on Washington. You know, because a lot of people are like, oh, they saw what happened versus Philly and also versus the Lions, but you guys do have the weapons to strike quick and strike often, right? With the wide receiver core that you have, and like you're averaging about 287 yards per game, 63% completion rating. So it's there. It just hasn't been consistent. You see flashes of what this Washington offense can be, and then it just kind of falls off a cliff, right? So it's going to be interesting to see. But here's the thing, y'all. I've been feeling like Carson, man. He's one of those quarterbacks, like he waits for kind of these moments, like, all right, it's Dallas, you know, it's a big prime time, well, not prime time game, but it's a game where a lot of people are going to be focusing on, where he can just have his day. And from the Cowboys standpoint, we can't allow that. You know, we just can't allow Carson wants to kind of have his day. I mean, we've kind of seen Ryan Fitzpatrick kind of have his day versus Dallas and some other quarterbacks, Tyler Heineke, you mentioned, hell, even Alex Smith, but not on Sunday. We can't allow Carson Wentz to be comfortable and make plays down the field, but make no mistakes about it, they definitely do have the weaponry. I'm going to transition over to your defense because I feel like the defense is the strongest part. You mentioned
it was supposed to be.
It was supposed to be. It was supposed to be.
It's not. We're an offensive team now somehow. Don't let these last couple weeks fool you. This is an offensive team at this point. That defense is Swiss cheese, man.
I mean, because you guys had, it was a bad second quarter versus Philly, right? But then the second half, I mean, you didn't allow any points, you know, so you know, it's kind of like Dallas, right? You can never have 2 things. You can never have an explosive offense and a good, solid defense, right? You know, I feel like you got to sell one to get the other. And so I feel like right now it's like, all right, you guys got some offensive weaponry right behind you, you know, with this passing game. All right, now let's lose the defense a little bit. But you still do have Jonathan Allen, Jerron Payne. In Cowboys Nation, I know he's a veteran. I know he's 40 years old or whatnot, and you want to kind of ramp him up. Nah, bro. Nah. I need Jason Peters to start at left guard. I need Jason Peters to start at left guard because
start him at left guard. I'll take Payne and Allen versus Jason Peters at this point, man.
Well, I'd rather have that matchup than Payne and Allen versus Tyler Biadasz and Matt Farniok. You know, so it's like, yeah, if there's going to be any week that our interior offensive line has to be solid, will be this week because you guys do get interior pressure. I mean, if you go back and saw what the defense was able to do versus Philly, like they were getting pressure in the middle of Hurts. I mean, they held Hurts, I think he was like 5 or 15 on third down. So it's there. You know, is it as spicy as it was back in 2020 when you had that missing dog and Chase Young out there? But
and not to mention, I know, we're missing Chase, but I've got an APB out for Montez Sweat because Montez Sweat has not sniffed a quarterback in 2022. He has no rush moves. And he was also a first round pick. He's one of the 5 first rounders in our front 7.
Right.
And we drafted a rookie in the second round out of Bama, Fedarian Mathis. He's probably going to be the guy who replaces Payne when he goes, if he doesn't get the bag, because he's balling right now. We lost him for the season during the Jacksonville game. So all we get is pressure in the interior because Sweat doesn't do it. None of Chase Young's replacements do it, so we only can get interior pressure from one place. Or Jamin Davis, we finally found something. They finally figured, hey, he may not be a great linebacker, but he can blitz. He has 3 sacks through 3 weeks, so we've seen progression there. Cole Holcomb's not playing good, and our secondary, it's really bad for the most part. But we get William Jackson back this week. St. Jude showed me something, but Kendall Fuller is absolute barbecue chicken right now, and I fear for the matchup that he's going to be in front of this week.
And that's the one thing I noticed about your secondary. They're scrappy. They're going to fight a little bit, but they'll give up those big plays, especially on the Fuller
sure
side.
Will.
Because you still have William Jackson III over there, but man, looking at the secondary, it's going to be opportunity. But, we ain't got 4 out there, man. So I really want to pump the brakes because it's a completely different situation when you have Cooper Rush versus Dak Prescott, though some Cowboys fans will tell you otherwise. So, when it comes to this season, right, you said playoffs is kind of standard. You guys are 1-2 currently. What do you think that you're really going to be able to rely on and lean on to make that push in the playoffs to be competitive this season?
One, when we get Chase Young back, if we can't get consistent edge pressure from Chase and Sweat, that defense, I don't know what to tell you, because like you guys front is so good that Diggs and them don't actually have to be great. Like, we have to make it easier on a not great secondary. We have all these dogs up front. Make it hard. I've watched Wentz get sacked 15 times in the last 2 weeks. Bro, why can't we do that to people? We drafted all these first rounders on the front line. Why can't we do the same thing to people? So that, and Carson Wentz, the right arm of Carson Wentz. If we're going to live and die by how good he's going to be, and whether he's going to let it fly or be gun shy. He has to let these demons go. I will accept a 4 interception game before I ever watch him play like he did versus the Eagles last week, because he refused to throw the ball. Like, sometimes you just gotta let your receivers have a chance. Like, he wasn't even trying, man. Like, he was just walking into sacks and holding on to the football, and we can't have that. But I'm rocking with my guy, Commander Carson. I don't want to see Heineke. And if it ever comes to a catastrophic enough, you said what?
Didn't you draft Sam Howell?
Yeah, we drafted Sam Howell. That's what I was just about to get to. I was about to say, if it got catastrophic enough that we had to put another quarterback in, it better not be Heineke. We know who he is. There's no upside there. We need to see what the 5th round pick is about. But I'm not anywhere near that. I'm not on the fire Ron train or the bench Carson train. I'm riding with my guys, and we're in a must-win situation on Sunday. So I expect them to play a much better football game.
So what will it take for you to kind of get off that Carson Wentz train? Like, how long will you kind of? So if you come out, you 1-4 or 1-3. If you lose, Sunday, like, would you start to hit the panic button and make a little bit of noise about switching that quarterback spot, especially if Carson plays bad again?
It would take about one more. Like, if we do this to y'all, if we do this against y'all and at home versus the Titans next week, and we're looking 1-4 dead in the eye, with Green Bay coming up 2 weeks after that, and Minnesota, and at that point, I'm gonna say, you know what? If Carson doesn't play 75% of the snaps, we're giving a 3rd instead of a 2nd. So at that point, but if it's for Taylor Heineke, nope. Let Carson play the whole season out.
So let him. Heineke fan at all.
Let him get his rock. Listen. I love the guy's energy. I love his moxie. I love how he can be exciting. I have no interest in watching noodle arm game managing quarterbacks. That is not my style of quarterback. I need a strong arm guy. We have to close more than half the playbook when Heineke comes in, and a lot of our fans don't understand that. He's a great guy. Love to have a beer with him. Love his story. Don't ever want to see him start a game for us. So if it ever comes to the point that Wentz has to get pulled, it better be that UNC boy coming in there.
Yeah. I mean, you don't like a kind of a needle arm game manager? I mean, because that's the hot thing in Dallas right now. Let me die. You know what I'm saying? Like, they kind of like that right now in Dallas. We can trade you Cooper Rush. We can have a conversation if y'all need a quarterback, man. So, I know you're kind of coming up on time crunch. We don't want to keep you all night. So let's go ahead and get into it. What is your prediction for the game Sunday?
21-20 Washington Commanders in the all black. I got y'all with a 2014 lead and Commander Carson leading us down for the win and some momentum going forward as we debut the all black war look on Sunday. I'm going with my Commanders to get the dub on Sunday because we have to.
Well, let me ask you this. Let me ask you this. We come out and we beat y'all. Is the black uniforms ruined?
You said, nah. It don't mean they ruined, but there's some more important things within the organization that might be ruined at that point if we get off to a 1-3 start with back-to-back division losses and 3 in the conference.
Yeah, man. So it seems like, you guys got your drama too. And that's why I said, like,
we always do.
Washington and Dallas, we're just tied at the hip. I know a lot of people want the rivalry to be with Eagles. Like I said, Eagles fans, they get on our nerves, right? You know what I'm saying? And you can attest to that. I mean, you were just probably in the building with a ton of them, right? So you can see how anonymous they can be. But when it comes to true on the field football rivalry, it comes to Washington, man, because they like a circus. We got circuses. It's just a whole bunch of stuff. Our stadium's just a little bit better. Now, as far as my prediction, I have the Dallas Cowboys winning this game 28-17. 28-17. I think the Cowboys pull it out. But I think it's going to be close. It's going to be a back and forth for a little bit, but I think ultimately in the second half, the Cowboys will pull it out. But I mean, like I said, you guys do have the capability to explode with Carson Wentz. You guys come out, especially in the second quarters. That's where you get bulk of your numbers, except last week, right? So you do have the opportunity to come out there and catch fire. So it's going to be a fun game, man. But my guy Rio, man, appreciate you, my guy, for coming on. But to do it next time again, because like I said, we play twice.
Oh yeah, and I come on for like an hour. We can kick it for a whole long time. I gotta run tonight. Oh, but the way I really feel about this game is y'all are either gonna blow us out or we're gonna win. I feel like if it's a close game, we'll win the game. I feel like the Cooper Rush hype has to be stopped by someone, and who better than the rival Commanders?
Wait one more week, man, until we get to the Rams, man, and stop the rush. But we'll see how it go, man. But once again, man, let everybody know where they can find you, my guy.
Yes, sir. Rio Robinson on YouTube, Rambling with Rio, and at Rio_Robinson on Twitter and Instagram. No matter who you're a fan of, you're welcome to come on my channel, talk your stuff, have a good time, and we always have a good time. We always have fun with it, man. Appreciate you having me on.
Yeah, appreciate you, my guy, man. Take care, man. We'll holler at you. Best of luck on Sunday. And y'all, stop still in my high school uniforms, man.
go ahead, rock you one when the black ones drop, man.
Nah, I can't do it, man. I can't do it, man. But appreciate you, my guy, for coming on.
Yes, sir. Deuces, man.
All right, y'all. So yeah, man. So we got some insight. So I feel like it's going to be a back and forth matchup when it comes to the Washington Commanders. But I feel like ultimately this is the game the Cowboys need to win, right? Even if you do have Cooper Rush, y'all, this is a game where I feel like the Cowboys are still the better team. And going into this matchup, like I said, we wasn't going to sleep. We wasn't going to slack. We wasn't going to take some time off or anything like that. Because like I said, last year, we learned our lesson versus Denver. And I said, hell no, we're not doing that again. I refuse to. So we was going to prepare, man. But we got some great insight from my guy Rio about what's going on in Washington. But now y'all just stuck with little old me, man. Y'all just stuck with me. All right. So, when it comes to this Dallas Cowboys matchup, man, I expect another big game from our defensive line. I feel like our defensive line is going to get pressure. They need to get pressure. And I'm predicting 4 to 5 sacks, right? 4 to 5 sack game for our defensive line to get pressure on Carson Wentz. We're familiar with Carson Wentz. We know who he is. We know who he is not, right? But you can't let Carson Wentz be comfortable. And if you let Carson Wentz get comfortable and start to gain some confidence, this game Sunday can be a long game. Now we know what time this game is. It's a nooner. It's a noon game. Y'all know Cowboys fans, especially at AT&T, we don't really like them noon games, y'all. We don't like them noon games. We kind of come out there lethargic. We don't really even tailgate. Now, if you are going to be at the game, I'll be out there at the game, right? But Des Bryant just had a huge announcement, y'all, that he's going to have his own tailgate and get into the suite and all sorts of stuff. And so salute to Des, but it starts at 9:30. I don't know if I'm going to be able to make it at 9:30, y'all. You know what I'm saying? That's a little bit too early on a Sunday for me, even though I get up at 4 a.m. every day. Not on Sundays, man. I like to sleep in the weekends where I like to sleep and get my rest. But, Des is going to have a tailgate out there for his personal quarantine, so definitely check that out. But, it might not be the most energetic building, right? There's really not this back and forth when it comes to Washington, even though it's our rivalry. I am interested to see if the Dallas Cowboys have the fortitude to get up and play this game the way it should be played. Just take care of business, right? These are the games as a Cowboys fan, personally, y'all, that always concerns me. Just to take care of business games, right? When there's no animosity, there's no big plot, there's no big storylines, it's not prime time, right? The game where we should win, just come out and win it. Just come out and win it, and I think that this Dallas Cowboys team is going to do it. If you go back and you listen to the sounds of the sideline this past week, man, I'm loving what I'm hearing from the guys. I love what I heard from Malik Hooker, right? Love the leadership I'm seeing from Malik Hooker. Also, I'm loving the leadership that we're already getting from Jason Peters. Jason Peters played 14 snaps. 14 snaps, right? But you're already seeing the impact of Jason Peters. Like I said earlier, right? I know he's 40, he's an older guy. But these next 3 games, we need Jason Peters at left guard. Period. We need Jason Peters at left guard these next 3 games versus the Commanders, versus the Rams, versus Philly. Then after that, he can rest, right? He can load manage a little bit after that, right? Even though Detroit's playing well as well, But I feel like from the standpoint, our interior offensive line will be tested starting on Sunday. Like I said, because we know what Payne is. We know what they bring with Allen. Like, those guys in the interior, they ain't no joke. They ain't no joke, man. So I feel like Tyler Biadasz and whoever that left guard is going to be, they're going to have to come with it, man, because these guys like to get out and get pressure and do a lot in the interior. I mean, if you look back what they did versus Philly, they were just getting after in the trenches. And like I said, Philly kind of just got fired in the second quarter, but they were able to settle down the second half. Now, Eagles fans will tell you, well, we took our foot off the gas and all, and you know what they say, right? But just to hold the team scoreless in the second half after giving up 28 points in the second quarter, they do have some talent on the defensive line, right? And like I said, even though they are missing Chase Young, they got 2 animals in the interior. So Tyler Biadasz, and also whoever that left guard, if it's Matt Farniok, if it's, Jason Peters, whoever that is, they're going to have to come with it. We can trust Zach Martin. I ain't got to worry about Zach Martin. Zach Martin going to be Zach Martin, But when it comes to the interior line, man, you can't let it buckle, especially with Cooper Rush, man, because that's the one thing our offensive line throughout these last 2 games where Cooper Rush has played, they played well, right? They kind of kept Cooper Rush clean. He hasn't been really pressured heavily. So, I don't want to see that on Sunday, but they definitely do have the weaponry to actually get that done, man. But I'm predicting the Dallas Cowboys win. I feel like it's going to be a fun game, a division game that the Dallas Cowboys need to handle, and it's come out and just be the better team. Kellen Moore, continue the trend. You might not be able to run as efficient, right, out the gate, right? But if you watch how they were getting carved up kind of on the run, it was more on the outsides, right? It wasn't really in the interior because, like I said, they got those 2 monsters, that wall right there. But on the interior, they were able to do a lot of things and give up the rushing yards. So I feel like this is going to be a big Tony Pollard game, and I expect Zeke to have another good day, man. Run the damn ball, stay balanced, do not change our approach. If it ain't broke, don't fix it, Kellen Moore. But I'm confident Mike McCarthy, he kind of got his hand. He kind of has his hands on Kellen Moore right now, and he's looking over the play chart because you haven't seen the past 2 weeks any cuteness besides the 3rd down play last week, right? On Monday, almost this week, right? On Monday, because it was 3rd down, game on the line, you could really close it. But Kellen Moore wanted to call a pass to Noah Brown. Wanted to call a pass to Noah Brown. Now, Noah Brown was held, right? He was held like crazy. But in games like that, just give the ball to Zeke and Pollard and get the hell up out there with the win. Don't have to be cute, man. But another one I'm expecting, man, 88. I'm expecting another big day from CeeDee Lamb. A lot of y'all was hating on CeeDee. I seen it. Tuck seen it. I saw it. I saw the hates, right? But I expect a big game from CeeDee Lamb. Because a lot of people got to understand. People have been saying, yo, Tuck, CeeDee Lamb is a wide receiver 1. He's only had 3 games as a wide receiver 1. Damn, can you learn the position first and kind of get accustomed to it? Right? But now I think that you should see Michael Gallup actually return. Now, how many snaps will he get? I don't know. But Michael Gallup came out and spoke about it this week, and he said his mental just wasn't right going into the Monday night game. So that's why he didn't play, because he only had 2 days of practice. But this week he's had a full week of practice. There hasn't been any setbacks. So I expect to see some Michael Gallup out there, which I think is ultimately going to help the offense, but also help CeeDee Lamb. My guy Steve White says, like Spoonie said, I am the wall. Yeah, gotta be a wall. Gotta be a wall and protect Cooper Rush. I thought the Giants defense was supposed to be good. Nah, not really good. I mean, they had some guys out there, but they're still growing. Right? Kayvon Thibodeau, that was his first game starting. He also had Azeez Ojulari. So they have some guys out there that's fairly young. But, I wouldn't say good. Like, we are starting to get, I don't think this Sunday will be it. Like I said, they have a great defensive line, right? But their linebacker core is kind of but Jamin Davis can do some things. And it seems like they're figuring out their footing when it comes to Jamin Davis, how to utilize him, and have him coming after the quarterback, right? So you got Jamin Davis, you got that defensive front, but their secondary, we should be able to have a field day versus their secondary and also their linebacker core for the most part. So it's going to be interesting to see what's dialed up on Sunday. But like I said, the Cowboys just got to stick to their game plan, impose their will, and get out there with the victory, which I'm expecting. Don't be too cute, man. But I appreciate all the support. Also, if you haven't already, go to CFOsportstalk.com to get your merch, man. The orders have been flying off the shelves. I've been kind of backed up. We got all the orders mailed out. Everything is being sent, man. So use the code CFOgang 10% off. I appreciate all the purchases. Everybody's like, yo, Tuck, I gotta get this guy. I'm like, yo, okay, hold on. I'm only one man. Tuck is only one person, man. But I appreciate all the support when it comes to CFO Sports Talk and all the merch, man, and all the support, man. So I appreciate you guys. If you're gonna be out there at the game Sunday, I will be there. I ain't doing no tailgating. I ain't doing none of that, man. It's a noon game. I'm coming in. I'm getting out. I don't like no noon game. Hey, salute to you, Steve, man. I heard you got the Bob Lilly sweater. That's my favorite, man. I need to make another one like that, man. Those be legendary sweaters. I'll make some more of those. But that Bob Lilly, man, that's like my favorite sweater I made. But a lot of Cowboys fans not even like, who is that? Who is that guy? Oh, it's like, it's Bob Lilly. Bob Lilly. Yeah, that's a whole nother topic for a whole nother conversation. But I appreciate you guys. I will be out there at the game Sunday. So if you see me, definitely say what's up, man. And I appreciate all the support. If you haven't already, follow me on all social media platforms at jtuck151. Hit the like, hit the subscribe, hit the share button, spread the content, man, because knowing and sharing, we want to make sure that we're educating our community, because we got a lot of Cowboys fans that need some saving, and I can't save them all by myself, man. And no problem, Steve, man. Appreciate you, man. So I appreciate all the support. I want everyone to stay safe, stay blessed, stay encouraged, and go Cowboys. Peace.